cut like a knife. Hot stove league in full chat. High school dreams and college stats. Wednesday morning tales unfold. Memories and news retold. Tune in B1039. Curry's voice and life's sweet line. Sheriff Miller by his side. Lively blue reds. Heart supply.
Right here on B1039, it's time for Curry's Hot Stove League. And, I'm going to say filling in for Pat, but that's not the case this morning because Pat will be here from the Sunshine State, which we don't have any. But anyway, we want to say good morning to Sheriff Brian Miller. Good morning, Sheriff.
Morning. How are you?
Doing okay.
Good. Well, got a couple great guests this morning. Hey, this is doing this again, Bob.
Yeah, I got to change that cable out.
Okay.
Yeah, one of these days.
Yeah, one of these days. We got a couple great guests. I've known them both for a long, long time. A Big Rapids alum, a St. Mary's Morley-Stanwood alum. We have Big Rapids softball coach, first year, Tamara Wade, TK, as many people know her. And then we have Morley-Stanwood softball coach, fifth or sixth year. Lauren Darling, or as a lot of people know her as Lauren Smith. So, welcome, ladies.
Thanks, glad to have it.
Thanks.
All right. So, and then I guess Pat's going to be calling in, or we're going to be calling in to Pat.
Yeah, I'll call him in just a second here.
Yeah. So we can all talk before he gets on?
Yeah, go ahead, yeah.
Okay.
Do the preamble here, and then
the preamble. So, softball season, I'd like to say, is in full swing, but looking outside, not so much. I know Morley-Stanwood's had 6 games thus far this year, and Big Rapids actually just had their first set of games last evening. Decent weather, actually. The rain held off for everybody that did play last night, I think. It came in a little bit after sunset. And then looking forward, I just hope we can get through this week. I was looking at the weather report again for tomorrow because there's supposed to be games tomorrow too, I believe. And looked like it was rain up until about noon, and then maybe some clear skies, and then maybe rain again tomorrow evening. So if we can maybe get a game or two in, I think that's good because this time of year you never know what you're going to get. So, ladies, let's start with Lauren first because having 6 games in already, you guys a little bit maybe are ahead of the curve when it comes to softball. Lauren, let's talk about you. If Pat's going to be on, and I know he always wonders about your dad, mom, your family.
Got his voicemail there,
who you are, where you're from. So let's get that out of the way first. Lauren, let's talk about a little bit about your background, and then we can get into your teams, your seasons, and expectations.
Sure. So I was born and raised in Morley. I went to St. Mary's up until 8th grade, and then went to Morley-Stanwood, was a 4-year player there on varsity for the Mohawks, and then went to Ferris and got my degree and went back to St. Mary's and coached there the middle school ball, basketball, and volleyball.
And you were Miss Lauren.
Yes, Miss Lauren. To your kids, Brian. Yes, Miss Lauren. And then went to Morley-Stanwood. I work there now, and I've coached there for, I think it's 5 years now. So when I took over the program.
Yep. So yeah, time flies. So who was your coach? Was it Andrea at that time, or
Yep. So my freshman year it was Sherry O'Neill, and then Andrea took over for the rest of my career. Also Jenny Prince.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Jenny for a little
coach,
bit.
Yeah,
with
when
Andrea.
she came.
That's right.
She was one of my idols. I love her.
Mm-hmm.
Still to this day, she's great. So
how can you not?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, I forgot about Jenny helping Andrea there for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
All right, TK, a little bit about your background. Like I said, I think I knew both of you when you were younger, so not my age either, Bob. All right, I'm not showing my age.
Okay,
because these ladies are both in their early 20s.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
TK, let me tell us a little about, I guess, what I don't know or what the public doesn't know about your background.
Yeah, so I have been in Big Rapids since '98. I was fortunate enough to play softball at the Big Rapids under Dawn Thompson. The last 10 or 12 years I've been coaching T-ball all the way up through juniors. Started with the boys and then fortunate enough to do the girls all the way up.
Let me get you even closer to that microphone because we're getting a hum there. There you go. Right in there. There you go.
In the last 2 years, I was able to be an assistant coach for Dawn Thompson and help with that program, and then just wanted to continue to carry on the program and her legacy and help continue to make the Cardinals as successful as we can.
What I like is both of you guys, I mean, you talk about Andrea, Jenny, you talk about Dawn. I mean, you guys both have had the privilege of having some mentors, I guess, when you were younger, and maybe even as you've gotten older, to kind of guide you. And somebody, I mean, there's nobody I really think higher of than Andrea, Jenny, and Dawn. And so you guys are, I mean, really fortunate. You take a little bit of what they, had that made them successful, and then you can kind of add your own characteristics and leadership goals and such that help you out. So
Yes, they definitely gave us a lot of knowledge to work with and good starting points for sure.
yeah.
And I played when Dawn was coaching the first round. So then to coach against her was awesome as well. And she's, like you said, a great mentor.
Yeah.
So knowledgeable about the game.
Yeah. So, you guys are like hitting home runs. Are you guys going to have set the record this year? I mean, it's early. We're 6 games in, but you guys probably already have like 10 or 11 home runs.
Yeah, we're hoping to. That's our goal.
So, I guess let's look at 6 games in. Let's look at what your expectations are for your team and maybe teams that you guys have currently before we hit districts that you think might kind of be a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah, I like that we opened up the league this year so that we are playing Big Rapids, Reed City, Newaygo, Grant, bigger schools that we can have a little more competition all throughout. We've got, Kent City coming up. Central's always big, tough for us. So
is Central Mount Comma,
yeah.
Is that kind of like I guess, somebody to judge, where you're at when you play them?
I mean, they're a great program. They have been. Kent City's been a great program. I mean, Big Rapids has too. So, yeah, it's just nice to get a little more competition throughout and not see the same teams over and over.
What led to that? Do you know? Because it wasn't. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. The last year or two, it hasn't been that way. I don't think we have played Morley-Stanwood. Well, last night, TK played Kent City, so I guess maybe I don't think it's been that way the last couple of years.
Right. So they had the leagues split into a silver and gold, and then we did not play the gold whatsoever. We did not. So it was giving us 2 games, with the same teams. So that's technically 4 because we play double headers.
Right.
Then you see them in districts, and you're like, oh man, like we have no. We can't hide anything. Yeah.
Right.
So it's good, that they opened it back up so we can all play each other. I think that's great.
Okay.
And I definitely would say that the conference is definitely competitive, and it can be anybody's season. It's definitely whoever's going to go out there and want it the most and make those plays and be aggressive at the plate.
Yeah.
You mentioned Central Mount Com. What other team in the either gold or silver conference is outside of your 2 teams, or is the team that we got to put a check mark on our schedule and say we got to be ready for that evening?
I would say Grant's pretty competitive, and Newaygo. Those are definitely 2 competitive teams that we see, generally speaking. So,
and we haven't seen them in a couple years, so I'm excited to see them. We play them on Thursday. Grant.
Oh, do you? Mm-hmm. Okay,
So.
Like I said, looking at the weather. It's,
Yes, we're hoping.
right. So you guys have Grant Thursday evening, and TK, you guys have White Cloud, correct?
That is correct, yep.
Now, White Cloud, are they in our conference, or are they in the silver?
They're in the silver. Yep.
Okay. So expectations for you, Lauren, for your team, and I guess things that you think are your strengths, and maybe, I don't like using the word weakness, but things that you can work on.
Things that we can work on, got it. Our strengths are definitely at the plate. I mean, between my leadoff batter, Maddie Koju, to the bottom, they're all great hitters. And our pitching, obviously, we have Taylor Schuberg and Lainey Bongard, so I'm just blessed with pitching this year. I'm very, very excited. Our weaknesses, I mean...
No, things you can work on.
Yes, things we can work on. We're working on our bunt defense because Central and those, tougher schools, they like to play that small ball game. So we're definitely working on that. So,
okay.
My expectations, district title for sure.
Right.
League title again this year. I mean, we got to think big, and the girls are ready for the challenge. So,
and senior-wise, Taylor's a senior. Schuberg, she's only a junior?
She's a sophomore. Brian.
Oh, my God.
They both are.
Wow.
Lainey and Taylor are sophomores.
So, you got like another 5 or 6 years where you're just going to be like, keep it coming.
Yes. This is what I've been waiting for.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
So, senior-wise, I guess you probably only have 2 or 3, right?
Yeah, we've got 4 right
okay.
now. Yeah.
You got Lexi, right?
Mm-hmm. Lexi Martin.
Yep.
Sarah Grondike, who's my left fielder.
Okay.
My right fielder, Abby Dard.
Yep.
Lila Prescott, who's my catcher this year. Filled some big shoes. Gracelyn Walsh has definitely missed. And then I have one more, Ava Whiting as well. So I actually have 5. I forgot Lexi hopped on this year, which is a great.
But she's just athletic.
Yeah.
And just, kind of a beast.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. All right. TK. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say we'll take a break and get Pat on the line if you want, unless you want to keep going. Keep going.
TK says yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So
no. You want to keep going or you want Pat?
Let's get Pat on.
Okay. We're going to take a break. That way we can get him in contact.
And where are we now, Bob? What is this?
What's that?
B1039.
Yeah.
WBZX.
Yeah. Big Rapids. You're number 1 for the 80s and more.
All right.
We'll be back with more Curry's Hot Stove League right after this. Come say cheers at Zott's Bar and Grill in Big Rapids. Great food, great prices, and great people, where everybody knows your name. Zott's, people's choice for best soup. You don't want to miss their award-winning burgers and chili as well. Originally opened in 1933 and serving it up ever since. Seasonal beers on tap. Located at 732 North State Street in Big Rapids. Roxanne and Doug at Zott's Bar and Grill are proud sponsors of the Signature Player of the Week for the Curry's Hot Stove League every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m.
This is Alec Gary of Daggett Gilbert Funeral Homes in Big Rapids and Barrington. What sets Daggett Gilbert Funeral Homes apart from everyone else is our commitment to service excellence. When a family calls, we are there before, during, and after the funeral experience. I want you to be able to trust calling us. We're here to guidance and counsel each and every single family to each and every single need. And we just feel like the commitment to families, especially ones that put their care and trust in us, we are going to go above and beyond to do anything we can to help a family during their time of loss. This is Alec Gary, a legacy of service, a promise of care with Daggett Gilbert Funeral Homes, located in Big Rapids and in Barrington.
M&M Lawn Care and Snow Plowing has been in business for over 30 years, gaining the trust of Big Rapids, and the surrounding communities. M&M Lawn Care can handle all your lawn care needs, as well as tree jobs and including removal. Call for a free quote, 796-4956. They're fully insured. Call M&M Lawn Care and Snow Plowing, proud local sponsor of Curry's Hot Stove League.
Hi, this is Pat Curry. We're right here with Brian Miller at 1039. We talk about what's happening with sports in Big Rapids. Well, we got a new sponsor. None other than the Great Body Shop right on Maple Street, east of the bridge in Big Rapids, Michigan. It's called M&M Collision Center. They're celebrating 30 years of trusted, top-quality auto body repair and remains the name you can trust. Whether you have a major collision repair or a minor fender bender, our award-winning team has you covered with free loaners and vehicle detailing with every repair. They work with all insurance companies and treat every vehicle like it's one of their own. From auto body repairs to supporting local community organizations, giving back to the community is part of who they are. Come and see Matt and Devin and Trish and Justin. Just a great group of people there. Come and see why Big Rapids trust M&M Collision Center of Big Rapids, where quality and community come together.
Last time you checked your tires. At Big Rapids Tire, they know how important it is to keep your ride smooth, safe, and reliable. Whether you're cruising down the highway or navigating tough weather, a fresh set of tires ensures you're ready for anything. Their expert team will help you find the perfect tires for your car and get you back on the road with confidence. Brakes, alignments, struts, and shocks, they do those as well. Don't wait for a blowout or worse. Visit Big Rapids Tire for unbeatable prices, quality, and peace of mind. Big Rapids Tire, Northland Drive, just north of town.
Hooked at Curries.
Pete, why do you come to Curries?
I go in there for breakfast every single morning, Pack, except the week. Well, on Sunday. I usually go to church. But I love the scrambled eggs and bacon and toast. Homemade.
And we are back on Curry's Hot Stove League, and, we are joined by the boss here.
We joined by the boss. Pat's back on the line. Woke up from his nap. So... welcome aboard, but off the air, we had let Pat know I got a question for TK to kind of come back with. So, TK, expectations for this year, strengths, and then things that maybe you think your team can improve upon in these early stages.
Yeah, definitely. So we have a strong senior class with a lot of strong leaders that have been helping the younger classmen, helping them get to, showing them some of the plays that may not have been so strong with. Definitely have a lot of speed that we can utilize on the bases that we're looking forward to. Got Aaliyah Kelsch in there pitching, kind of just started last year. Pretty proud of her for kind of showing herself and just continuing on with that process. Some of the things that I feel like we can definitely improve on is the confidence. These girls have a lot of knowledge of the game. They know how to play the game. They just have to be confident when they're out there, whether that's at the plate or in the field, cutting down those fielding errors. And they should be pretty successful.
Okay, so last night you guys had a couple games at Kent City. First one...
it was very close. We did go up 4-2 in the third or fourth inning, I believe, and then they just kind of came back. And then the fifth inning, they got their leadoff batter. She's a sneaky one around the bases, so definitely a strong ball player over there. But, she was able to sneak in and went up by one and lost by one, 5-4.
But here's the big thing is you got those games in, you got your feet wet, and now you can kind of roll around and get into the season. And it's a lot of just that continuity, kind of getting into the flow of things. And now that you've done that, I think that helps.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there was a lot of nerves going into the season. We have some new faces on the team, new coaching staff. Everything's just kind of new. So they got the nerves out, and now we know where to work on and continue to go from here.
Awesome. Pat.
Yeah.
Any questions that you have of Lauren Smith and TK Frost?
Yeah, I feel bad for both girls because, we don't have an indoor facility.
That would be so nice, really, Pat. I am right there with you.
All right, Pat, you got to put this phone right up to your ear because you're way off mic there.
Wow.
It's kind of like you're in the studio here.
That's better.
How's that? Well, I just feel sorry for this is the only sport that I think, anyway, that has got an unfair advantage. They, start, 2 weeks ago you guys started?
They usually start the end of March, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, the season's over with before June, right?
Yes.
Yep, the last week of June is always the state finals.
So for these girls that have been playing multiple sports, like or the tennis last fall or track or whatever, they need a bit of to get the game together. Time you guys were good on the other season. I remember back in the baseball days. These guys, we've had a lot of good baseball players come through Big Rapids, but then it's really the big Division 2 or Division 1 in play if you're from Michigan. You're down south here to play full time. And my hat's off to you guys. You guys play really good more time than practice time. I think because you guys do.
All right, Pat, you know what? We need to get you near a window or something, because you're like in a bad cell there. And so you're kind of glitching out.
I am found, and I'm getting a lot of feedback.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I'll let you go. I don't know what it is here. I guess the good Lord.
he wants you to take a day off.
Yeah.
Well, I guess so. Yeah.
I mean, it was great yesterday. The connection was great.
New JV coach, huh?
Yeah, you're glitching out. So you know what? We're gonna let you go because you're kind of in a bad cell there.
Yeah. Take care.
Yeah, you enjoy yourself.
Thanks, Pat. Okay.
All right.
See you, Pat.
But so Pat made a good point. So how many practices outside have each of you had, even just leading up to your first game? Honestly, because
before my first game, we had one. And I was lucky to get out there.
Right.
Yep.
We've been outside probably 3 or 4 times, I would say, using the full field maybe once.
Right. Yeah. And that is, and I use this example with my son, who plays the Big Rapids. I said, this is before the season started. I said, so how are things going? He goes, Dad, it's hard to tell when you're inside. Until we get outside, do I think we're fine? Yeah, I think things are going to be great. But there's a big difference between practicing inside and practicing outside on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. The ball reacts differently, everything.
Yeah.
Right.
And indoor balls are a lot different than outdoor balls, number one. Number two, you cannot simulate outfield stuff at all. No. I mean, not in our gym. I know we can't in our gym. And how it comes off the bat, too.
Yeah.
I mean, inside versus outside.
Well, seeing it come off the bat,
too.
Compared, having that backdrop compared to, outside at the ball field is huge.
Yeah, and the pitcher's not pitching off an actual mound is difficult as well. So
yeah, you can put that artificial mound in there all you want. Mm-hmm. I know last night for the baseball team, a couple of the guys that pitched had some, complaints about the mound and through no fault of Kent City or the grounds, is just I think early in the season with the weather being what it is, they said the mound they didn't feel real comfortable up there.
Yeah. Quick dry is our best friend in the spring.
Well, and I asked my son, he's wearing molded spikes, and I said, what happened to the metal ones? Wouldn't they have been a lot better on the... I don't think, Well, of course, I'm going to disagree with that. But, I think that had a lot to do with it. But, I think, having, the mounds aren't really quite where they need to be yet either.
Yeah, batter's boxes, too. Left hand, not so much, but the right-handed batter's box is just...
Well, the left hand, because how many lefties do you have?
We have one.
We have one.
Exactly.
There you go.
So.
Yeah. What about you guys? How many lefties?
We have 1, 2. Yep,
okay.
Elena Fattori.
Okay. Yeah, and so, it makes a difference also. Coming up, I guess let's look back. Lauren, your most favorite memory of when you played and then the 5 years you've coached, I guess the memory that kind of stands out most that, helps that passion for the game that you've developed.
Mm-hmm. You're making me dig back deep, Brian. I I'd say probably our senior year, we went to quarterfinals in softball. I think if we would have had a couple more girls that didn't go out my senior year, we would have gone all the way.
Awesome.
And then for coaching, I'd probably say last year, beating Kent City, beating, Central. When I started, our program was very, low, and we were building.
Right.
And to beat those teams was huge. I mean, I called my girls into my office to show them the score, and they just went berserk because we had gotten, on top of the conference. And that's huge for them, too. So, yeah.
Well, confidence breeds confidence.
Right.
I mean, we've spoken baseball, softball. I don't know if there's a game where there's as much failure that occurs than in, baseball and softball. But you can't dwell on it, and you build on it, and take the good with the bad. But that's something I think that is so much different than any other sport you play.
Absolutely.
All right, looking back, and we can go slow pitch softball too if you want, knowing that you played a lot of that in your years. Something a big highlight in your playing days, and I guess your coaching's a little bit shorter, but something that you saw last night that you took from and you think, moving forward, this is something we can build on.
Yeah, definitely. So I would say probably my favorite memories of softball and what I loved is growing up, we always gathered on Sundays and did kind of like a sandlot league. We just picked teams, the kids got to go play between their parents. And I really feel like that's how we learned a lot about the game, how to play the game, and you just got to, be in the moment. I tell the girls this year, I said, it's something that you have to work on is being heads-up softball. There is the technical play where you have to go every time where you're supposed to go, but softball is a game of, in the moment plays, going here or there. I would definitely say one of our most exciting moments yesterday in the first game is the girls were able to get 2 double plays in the same game, and last year it was kind of a struggle to do that. So I think definitely them seeing that they are capable of it and taking that energy and drive, it's going to be very helpful for them this season.
Right, and double plays are just so, I don't preach into the choir, but just so huge when you get it to double play, just, and from the pitcher standpoint, to say, I can, I don't know how softball is, but pitch to contact sometimes.
Yep.
Yes,
knowing
absolutely.
that I got the defense behind me, that I don't have to try to strike everybody out, and just being able to have that confidence is huge.
Yes.
That way, as a pitcher, you're not trying to paint the corners too much or trying to be too perfect because,
the whole team to be out there,
Right.
Yeah, and pitchers have so much pressure as it is.
Yes.
And then to have that defense behind them, I'd never pitched, and I'm terrible at it. That's why I have a pitching coach. But to have that defense behind them, it must be helpful to kind of get that stress level down.
Right.
'Cause they're right front and center,
So who's, I guess, not to have you call, but who's the leader on your team that you say everybody else kind of look, because every team kind of has that one, maybe 2 players that, all right, guys, let's go. Let's bring everybody in, not necessarily a captain per se, but somebody that everybody else rallies around.
I think one of mine would be Lainey Bongard. She's very vocal in the field, and also, when she's pitching, she's in the zone.
Got another edge to her.
Yes. And that's why I love it, because she managed all the way up for me, and now she's finally my player. So that's been kind of special. Maddie Koju for sure.
Okay.
And then Sarah Grondike, who's kind of a silent leader, but she's always there, picking everybody up and helping anybody that needs help. So, yeah.
Well, I think it's important that you have that manager in the field. Growing up, I coached a group of boys in Cole Heist, who's he was always that kid that we looked to. He played shortstop for us at the time, and he was our coach in the field. Where he was the one that kind of said, okay, make sure you're here, kind of talking always. And that's the one thing. Going by your game yesterday. We showed up for the baseball game, and I'm walking by, and I hear just the chatter.
Yes.
The chatter, just and not from the bench necessarily, but in the field.
It's very important.
Everybody talking to each other, and just something that stood out yesterday when I walked by your guys' game. I was like, man, that is awesome.
Yep,
just hearing everybody.
Communication is definitely something that we've been working on. We want them to have that leadership out there. So
right, yeah.
And it definitely shined last night for sure.
Oh yeah, I noticed it right off the bat. Like I said, it wasn't coming from the dugout or the bench. It was coming from the field. Everybody just talking to each other, and I thought, man, that's what it's about. And
it helps keep them calm. Like
they
all are just kind of they want to talk anyway. They're girls, but it's hey, here's our next play. Hey, we're going to 1 or whatever. It keeps everybody on the same page, and it keeps them calm, I think.
Yeah,
do you
absolutely.
agree?
I would say that they definitely did more communicating in the first game, and it was helpful for them to be so close and have a good game. And then the second one, they kind of, once they get behind a little bit, make those errors, the communication kind of falls down, and they got to remember, you got to fight through it, you got to pick it back up, and that's when the communication is even more important to get them checked back in.
I agree.
So a leader, maybe 2 on your team that you kind of look to in the field to kind of help guide everyone.
Yeah, so I'm very fortunate. I kind of got them split out. I got Addie Fattori behind the plate. She's a very strong leader, holding their teammates accountable, making sure that they're in the right positions. If they're not throwing where they need to, she's like, hey, this is where it needs to go so that they can reset for that next one. I have Lear and Stanley at shortstop. She's been a little strong, telling people, hey, this is where we're going, being heads up. And then I definitely have a strong, huge leader in center field with Jalen Schuberg. She's communicating not only with the infield, but making sure the outfield knows what they're doing, picking them up if things happen, making sure that it's strong out there. So I'm very fortunate with those leaders.
Okay. So, assistant coaches, who do you everybody, you can't just do it with one coach. Coaching young kids like I did, if you didn't have 2 or 3 of you out there, they eat you alive. And then you get older, and just kind of helping try to keep everybody focused. Who do you have helping you out this year then, TK?
So I was very fortunate this year. Lindsay Chat, she is a Fair State University student. And she kind of she's from Tawas. And she just loves the game. She was a softball player herself, but done travel ball. Unfortunately, wasn't able to continue with college due to some injuries, but the knowledge that she brings to our team is huge, and I'm very excited for that. Also have some really good support on the JV side with Cody Wyman and Jason Ambler. Definitely, they have a lot of experience. Sometimes a little bit with baseball, but we're getting in the softball swing of things with them. So definitely a lot of knowledge with the game.
Oh, that's awesome. Lauren, what about you?
So I have a whole team around me. Thank God for that. My sister, Trisha Smith Bennett, is my actual assistant coach. So that's kind of special. We coach together. We nip at each other. I nipped at her last night, and I said, oh, I'm so sorry for that. What I say on the field doesn't count. I also have Emily Bongard by my side, volunteering, and she's just got so much knowledge. And she's coached these girls in Little League all the way up.
Right.
So that's helpful. I mean, to have that extra, voice that they're familiar with. I also have my pitching coach, Alyssa Nelson Hubner, who pitched at Morley-Stanwood on my side. So, yeah.
And those assistant coaches mean, especially when it comes to drills and practice.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think that's where it pays off the most, is being able to break off into little groups and work on maybe certain aspects of the game. And when you only have, 1 or 2 of you, I think it makes it a little bit more difficult to do.
Especially when you don't have the seniors that don't know what's happening.
Right.
My girls know what my practices most of the time consist of, and so if you don't have that, it's hard without more assistants around you. So
Yeah, absolutely. And it's hard to like even focus on one certain area when you're trying to like
absolutely
coach everybody in every area. And then you got some people that are standing around, might get bored with it, and they're like, ugh.
Yep.
They check out.
But I can tell you, most everybody, you go to a high school softball game, and most people would actually rather go to a high school softball game than a high school baseball game.
That's what I've heard, Brian.
But it's the truth, because just the pace of the game is so
absolutely.
much, so much quicker, and it's a different. People might say, yeah, baseball and softball, they're two completely different games, and the pace, and maybe some certain rules and otherwise, but it's a lot different. And
yes, the game definitely moves along. You're not there for hours, with baseball. You got each inning and the pitchers and
right, and just there's just so much. It's so much quicker, and so if you haven't been to I don't want to say youth softball, because it's a lot different.
Yeah.
I mean, each level you get up, it gets that much quicker. But high school softball, get out and watch one of these teams, because the pace, and it's pretty fun to watch. So we talked about having two pitchers. How many pitchers? I mean, you guys got probably more than just the two, but those are your two horses.
Yes.
What about Big Rapids? How many pitchers do you guys have?
Big Rapids, on the varsity level, we have 3. We have Lizzie Zimmerman, Alina Fattori, and Aaliyah Couch this year.
Okay. All right. So some expectations there. And
Yep, Alina definitely is leading the pack. She is our senior this year. She's always been a consistent pitcher, being able to throw the ball in there for them. Aaliyah Couch, like I said, she's kind of trained herself the last year or so she's fine-tuning that. Definitely has some good speed in there. So as she locks that in, it should be fun to watch. And then Lizzie Zimmerman, same thing. She's a senior, can throw the ball in there and help the defense.
Okay. So let's look at the near future here. Teams that you guys, I guess the next week or two, I hate to look too much past that, because, let's be realistic. I mean, one game at a time, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So you guys have White Cloud, and then who else do you have on your schedule over the next week or two?
So we have Newaygo on Tuesday, and then we have Mount Pleasant on Thursday and Cadillac on Friday.
Oh, so, okay. Mount Pleasant, a little bit bigger school.
Should be a definitely competitive
and
game.
they got the
there.
Drillers over there. I mean, I'm sure a lot of the kids play on the Drillers over there.
Yeah.
And you might even have a player or two that maybe played on that team too. That's just kind of like maybe the travel team around.
Yeah, and Cadillac, they've been definitely putting in a lot of work too with travel.
Have they?
Being competitive, so it should be definitely some good games.
Okay. Yeah. Couple. Yeah. That. Are you at Mount Pleasant, or are they?
Nope, we are home
Okay.
versus Mount Pleasant and home versus Cadillac.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Lauren, what about you guys? Who do you? I mean, you mentioned Kent City coming up.
Yep, we've got Grant tomorrow, hopefully, if the weather holds, which I'm looking forward to playing them. Kent City on Tuesday, and then Tri-County next week, too.
And how's Tri-County Benton? Are they a little down?
They are a little down right now, but they have a new coach, and he's working really hard to build that program up. So,
Okay.
yep.
Yeah, and anytime you have, but you just don't take anybody for granted.
Right.
You know, I mean,
No.
honestly, you guys have been doing this a long time, but you never want to go into a game and think, we got this thing
Yeah,
wrapped
you
up.
never want to look past anybody,
No.
ever, especially in softball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody can be beat on any night.
Yep.
so.
Right. Well, you get a hot pitcher, and like you said, good defense, and that really plays.
Yeah.
So, looking back, why do you think you are where you are right now, Lauren, in your career, or your coaching career, and I guess what's brought you to this?
I think just my dad instilling, the competitiveness. He coached me all the way up. Was the hardest on his daughters, because that's how we are. But I just always liked the coaching aspect part of it. Like, I was a good basketball player, not great, but I'm a great coach for basketball. I love the game of softball to play and to coach. There's a lot of technical stuff that I'm still, I mean, even as a fifth year, head varsity coach, I'm still learning.
Right.
But yeah, I think that competitive nature and the go get it, let's go get it. Like, I think that's where it stems from.
Did your dad coach at St. Mary's, if I remember correctly?
He coached all of us.
Yeah.
Yep.
And does he come to the games?
He does. Yesterday, I called him and he said, well, you didn't play great the first couple of... Yeah, Dad, I know. Like, I know that. And he's like, but you're looking pretty good. Yeah, which for him is a compliment, so...
you hear all this, all these things from people that, don't criticize, whenever your kid gets in the car after a game, you should always say, I like watching you play. It's easier said than done. The kid gets in the car, I'm like, oh, you did this. Look at your body language. Watch that. You did good here, but did you think maybe if you would have done this, that?
Yeah.
And they always say, yeah, tell your kids that you love watching them play.
Yep.
Okay. I always finish with that, but
that's a great way to start it, and it's totally different these days coaching versus when we played. I mean, my dad could rip me up one side and down the other, and I was fine. But we do that now, and as I grow as a coach, I don't want to do that.
Right.
Like, yes, they know what my expectations are, and if we don't meet that, we'll get it the next play. That's what we always say. Look to the next play. Look to the next, because you got to keep them up.
Right.
Like
Definitely.
you said, because if that attitude starts going down, you're not cohesive. So
and every player is built differently.
Correct.
You can't coach the same way with each player.
Correct.
Each one is...
Especially girls.
Yes, especially
I wasn't going to go there.
Yes.
I wasn't going there.
We'll go there, right? Yes.
Yeah, I wasn't going to... That's... So, you, TK, how have you gotten to be where you are?
I've definitely been fortunate enough to be in the game. I've been around definitely a lot of solid softball players, whether it's slow pitch, fast pitch, working with Jenny, with Coach Schumann, with Dawn Thompson. Definitely, they've given me a lot of tools, a lot of experience to, grow off of and use and continue to use those tools for sure.
Right. If we were to pull a player aside and say, what do you think of Coach Darling or Coach Wade? That's that question, I think. Pull the player. What would they say of Coach Darling?
Loud, competitive, but also there when we need her and wants to win. And that's okay, because that's our expectation. We want to win, and we need to play together to win. So,
right, and that's the thing is the playing together. Everybody having that role, everybody having that niche, knowing, and a lot of that comes from the coaches knowing where you stand. Okay, here's my. I used to love the bus trips when I was coaching. Middle or high school sports, because I'd call each kid up individually.
Yep.
And say, here's my expectations for you this game. This is what we're looking to do. Here's what my expectation of you is that's going to help us be successful. I don't know. That's one thing in the bus trips that I, remember doing. And then you build that rapport with that person too, that, hey, Coach trusts me, and this is what he wants or needs for us to be successful.
I think that trust is huge. You're right, Brian, and just connecting with them one-on-one, too. I mean, as a whole team as well, but to know that we're there for them, especially girls this now is a huge, huge thing for them, so.
And you? What was the question?
I would definitely say they would say Coach Wade is accountable. She's firm. Definitely makes us work hard, but definitely wants them to keep their heads held high, be confident in their playing, and I'm always picking them up. I don't let them dwell on that error that they made or that bad play or that, hitting. We get that next one, we adjust, make those adjustments, and then go out and do it again.
Right.
Well said. That was good.
Well, both of you guys together is actually pretty much what I was looking for. Confidence, being there, accountability, those just perfect answers. So looking at the coming up to where do you expect yourself to be come the end of May, 1st of June?
I expect us to be on top of the conference. The girls know that. They are ready for the challenge. We've put some heavier hitters, towards the end of our season. We see Ravenna coming up.
Oh, they're always.
Yes. Hoping to maybe connect with Everett as well, just to get a little more competition before we hit that.
Do you not have Everett on the schedule, or are you looking to kind of get them in an open whenever it works?
Yeah, whenever it works. We were in their tournament last year, but it's the same weekend as Pine River this year, and we always make that trip to Pine River. So we're hoping maybe even a scrimmage with them, to just get that competition before we had postseason. So
right.
And then definitely for us, we're looking to move up in the conference standings for sure. Last year we ended in 4th, so I'd love to see us up towards the top, definitely, if not in 1st, around that 2nd area.
So who's the team to beat in the gold then?
I would say that Grant is definitely up there, yes. And Nuego's pretty competitive, so.
And you guys are the team in the silver, I'm assuming.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What is the one thing that you most enjoy about coaching?
I love watching the girls grow within the sport. Like to see them at the beginning of the season or even the 4 years throughout, watching them grow from the beginning to the end is just, it's huge and it's amazing to watch. So that's definitely my favorite part, seeing them grow.
And perfect answer, because I often, when I coach a team, like right now I have my boys U12 Cooper's team, and it's what's important is it's not where we are right now.
Right.
At the end of the year, what's important is where we are at the end of the year.
Yes,
there's going to be some bumps in the road, and nothing's going to be smooth. But in the end, you can look where we came from, and look where we are now. And I think that's what's most important.
Yeah.
Coach?
I definitely have to piggyback off of that. That's totally true. I mean, the seniors that I have now, I've had for 4 years. So to see them grow, just as women too, not just in the sport, but all the way around, we're raising and hoping to raise and help raise good women.
Absolutely.
That can go out and be great people in society. So.
Right. And that's where I think, looking back, one of my most enjoyable things of the coaching is, coachable young people are going to be employable and
absolutely
adults when they get older. And,
yes.
And I had the same conversation with Brad and Ben Wright last week when they were in law enforcement. I can just point out law enforcement officers that maybe didn't play team sports growing up. Mm-hmm. That ability to work with one another and to, fill whatever niche it is in our profession. I can see that, and I think that law enforcement is probably one of the things that's most associated with sports, is because I think everybody brings something to the table.
Yeah.
And so I think that's important. Is you guys are today's youth are our future.
Yeah,
they are.
And so whatever you can do, and that's why I think Big Rapids and Morley-Stanwood should be very fortunate and grateful to have two people that I know are quality people coaching and raising their kids.
I appreciate that, Brian.
Yes,
thank you.
Well, no, it's not BS. It's true. Can I say that? Okay. No, it's true. So, looking forward, how do you guys handle adversity? Because there's going to be, maybe an injury, maybe something else comes up during the season. How are you with adversity, and how do you coach the girls when it comes to adversity?
Well, it depends on what the situation is, but we kind of rally around each other. My culture that I've built up at Morley-Stanwood is we're a family. Mm-hmm. On the field, off the field, even the parents, we all work together. And so if one person is hurting or needs something, we've got you. So that's kind of our mentality. So,
well, I can tell you, probably a few weeks back, we had Bob in with 3 of the girls from the basketball team.
Yep.
And it was probably one of my most favorite shows, Bob Aldrich, as I looked at Bob.
Yes.
It's probably one of my most favorite shows because, you had Bob there and you had the three girls feeding off each, just
and to feed off Rave, I'm sure. I mean, I played for Bob too, so
right.
I know how he is, and yeah.
It was one of my favorite shows because everybody, there was a lot of laughs,
yes.
So, but that's the family atmosphere. Again, I go back to law enforcement, and that's one thing we preach at our office is family, and team. And just like you guys, sometimes we're a little dysfunctional. Yeah. But it works, And
knowing that you can count on each other is huge too. So.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. I was just looking at Emily the other day and I said, these girls are crazy, but they're just fun. They're fun to be around. I love hanging out with them, it's a good atmosphere. And that's what we've wanted, so.
Well, I can tell you, Sage is.
Oh my goodness. She is. I love her.
I've gotten to know her a little bit more because she's, I think, she's a little spitfire.
She is. I love that kid. Oh my gosh. She's coming out of her shell. That's for sure. And
she was in a shell?
Well, at first.
I kind of assume that she's like that person ever since she walks in somewhere and everyone's like, Sage.
There's Sage, yep.
So that's awesome. Adversity with you guys, TK.
I would definitely say that girls are always wanting to work hard. They want to move around in different positions to be able to try their best here. Like, last year we did lose Addie Fattori from an injury in catching, and Finley Robinson definitely stepped up huge last year and was able to fill in. So, we hope that we don't have injuries that we have to, but definitely it's part of the game. We also have eligibility in there, which the girls have definitely been pretty awesome in the books aspect of things as well. But, in practice, we do try to move people around a little bit just in case on the off chance that does happen or a girl has an off night or anything like that.
Is depth of strength with you guys? Or is it something that, because, I know depth plays a big part in things you talk about. Are you moving people around more just by, so that if something comes up, they're somewhat familiar with it?
Yeah, definitely. And we're still trying to find some of those starting positions, just seeing who is going to be the best fit there. So it's good to be able to see who can or can't fill in at the different spots, whether it's infield or outfield. Pitching is kind of something you can't just throw somebody in. So,
right.
But being able to be versatile, being that utility player is definitely huge, having a couple of those on your team.
Right. What about depth with you guys? I mean, you guys are a little bit more maybe established right now compared to Big Rapids, but is that something?
I'm very blessed. I have a lot of athletes, so I can put them anywhere and tell them this is your job. I mean, Lexi Martin, she hasn't played since she was an 8th grader because she's an amazing shot put thrower.
Really? Is she doing that too?
She thought about it, but she is not dueling.
Okay.
She's just doing softball, which her father was not very pleased with because he's the coach. But, she's just, I tell her something and she, okay, I got it, coach. And she does it. So we're very fortunate in the depth aspect because they're just athletic. So I can put almost anybody anywhere. They're not tied to the infield. They're not tied to the outfield. So
That's huge.
yeah, it is. Yeah, we're very blessed. So
All right. Well, ladies, thank you for coming on. Continued success, continued growth and success. I'd like to get out and watch both of you guys because I think, like I said, softball's much more. Unless you have a child playing baseball, I mean, I enjoy baseball, but softball's just much more fast-paced and
Entertaining, too. Constantly entertaining, maybe is better words.
yeah.
But like I said, you know, you hear some at boys' games, you hear a little chatter. But like I said, walking by your game yesterday, I was like, boom, that that just is probably the one thing that stood out to me yesterday.
Awesome. I'm definitely going to have to share that with them because they've been working hard at that, Brian. So thank you.
Yes. So anything that you guys have questions of me, when I was a detective, that's how I'd always finish up interviews. Do you have a question of me or something you want to ask?
How are the boys doing? I taught them at St. Mary's, so
Well, you have Brody. Yep. Jonathan. I think you had Jonathan in preschool.
I did. Yep.
And Cameron. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else in that group that went to St. Mary's.
That was one of my first groups too. So.
Yep. Yep. Bob. She partially raised my two boys. Yeah. But yeah. I think Jonathan's. He's batting second. It does take a village.
Absolutely.
Yep. Jonathan's batting second. Did really. He's our best hitter. I think on the Big Rapids team. Jonathan Lisinski, that is. Okay. And then Brody's the leadoff hitter. Jonathan's playing right. Brody's playing short.
Okay.
Just like his dad did back in the days at Big Rapids. His dad was all conference baseball. And both played really well last night. And then Cameron is going to be a corner outfield pitcher. Cameron pitched last night.
Okay.
Did well on 3 pitches. We had Carson Rakoff. Cameron came in for him, and then Cole Heist pitched last night. So,
cool.
But I think those are the 3 that you kind of had. And you had Cooper for a year or 2, right?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, he's youth still, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
But so.
Yeah,
yep.
cool. Good.
Yeah.
Glad to hear that.
None? All right. Well, good luck to Morley-Stanwood, Big Rapids. You two ladies, appreciate you. And Bob, we want to finish with our sponsors, I guess.
Right there. You might as well just pick that right up there. And
all right. Yes, we have Big Rapids Tire and Andrew Brock there. You both have been to Zotz. That's a stupid question, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, sometimes we ask people, and they're like, no, I haven't been there. I'm like, what the heck?
Oh, man.
My dad loved going there on Fridays. Bless his heart.
Chowder soup?
Yep, he did.
Yeah. That's my favorite. Roxanne always makes sure that there's some of that for me when I go in on a Friday. So Zotz also has the best burgers in town. Then we got Daggett Gilbert Funeral Home. Alec Gary runs that. Alec is the baseball coach at Big Rapids. We have M&M Lawn Care and Snow Plowing, M&M Collision Center, and then this other business, Get Hooked at Curries. So
that's the one.
That's the one.
Good deal.
So we'll take a break next week. I think we'll have a repeat episode. I think.
Yeah, we're going to dig one up, but we may have Coach Anise on again.
Okay.
Yeah,
so I listened to him. Speaking of that, last week was the chamber kind of kickoff, and Coach Anise spoke. And actually,
I'll have to listen because it's kind of time dated. You know, they were talking about this was before we won the championship. So
no, this is the one that we had.
Yeah,
because he's been on a couple times with us.
Yeah, yep.
But yeah, when he spoke last week, it was awesome. I actually, he had his PowerPoint, a couple things, and I took a couple pictures of him and went back to my U12 baseball practice and went through some of the things that make up a good team. It was pretty good. And so, yeah, we'll take a break next week because Pat's
still in the sunshine.
Yeah. Retirement Sunday will be great.
Yeah.
And then the following week, Pat and I are both back, and I have Big Rapids soccer coach Kurt Ray. He was supposed to be on next week, and then Pat asked me to hold off because he wanted to be there. So I'm not sure if I feel sorry for Kurt. I'm sure there's some
Yeah.
Yeah, probably has something in store for him. So,
Oh, boy.
so
WBZX Big Rapids, by the way.
thank you, ladies.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having
Appreciate
us.
it. All right. God bless.
All right, it is Curry's Hot Stove League here on B1039. Oh, as everybody running for the exits.
That was awesome.
Come say cheers in Zots Bar and Grill. Downtown Big Rapids. Great food, great prices, and great people. So come on down where everybody knows your name. Zots Bar and Grill, the People's Choice Best Soup winner. The burgers are where it's at. Originally opened in 1933 with seasonal beers on tap. Located at 732 North State Street in Big Rapids. Zots Bar and Grill is a proud sponsor of the Signature Player of the Week for the Hot Stove Sports League every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m.
This is Alec Gary of Daggett Gilbert Funeral Homes in Big Rapids and Barrington. I believe what sets Daggett Gilbert Funeral Homes apart from everyone else is our commitment to service excellence. When a family calls, we are there before, during, and after the funeral experience. I want you to be able to trust calling us. You know, we're here to guidance and counsel each and every single family to each and every single need. And we just feel like the commitment to families, especially ones that put their care and trust in us, we are going to go above and beyond to do anything we can to help a family during their time of loss. This is Alec Gary, a legacy of service, a promise of care with Daggett Gilbert Funeral Homes, located in Big Rapids and in Barrington.
Hi, this is Pat Curry. We're right here with Brian Miller at 1039. We talk about what's happening with sports in Big Rapids. Well, we got a new sponsor. None other than the Great Body Shop right on Maple Street, east of the bridge in Big Rapids, Michigan. It's called M&M Collision Center. They're celebrating 30 years of trusted, top-quality auto body repair and remains the name you can trust. Whether you have a major collision repair or a minor fender bender, our award-winning team has you covered. With free loaners and vehicle detailing with every repair. They work with all insurance companies and treat every vehicle like it's one of their own. From auto body repairs to supporting local community organizations, giving back to the community is part of who they are. Come and see Matt and Devin, Trish and Justin. Just a great group of people there. Come and see why Big Rapids trust M&M Collision Center of Big Rapids, where quality and community come together.
When was the last time you checked your tires? At Big Rapids Tire, they know how important it is to keep your ride smooth, safe, and reliable. Whether you're cruising down the highway or navigating tough weather, a fresh set of tires ensures you're ready for anything. Their expert team will help you find the perfect tires for your car and get you back on the road with confidence. Brakes, alignments, struts, and shocks. They do those as well. Don't wait for a blowout or worse. Visit Big Rapids Tire for unbeatable prices, quality, and peace of mind. Big Rapids Tire, Northland Drive, just north of town.
M&M Lawn Care and Snow Plowing has been in business for over 30 years, gaining the trust of Big Rapids and the surrounding communities. M&M Lawn Care can handle all your lawn care needs, as well as tree jobs and including removal. Call for a free quote. 796-4956. They're fully insured. Call M&M Lawn Care and Snow Plowing.
Proud local sponsor of Curries Hot Stove League.